Hey everybody. So essentially, since I've gotten into the firearms world and I've had firearms, I've always kind of kept them in some kind of gun cabinet, kind of like that. But I wanted to swap it up and do something a little bit different. And I wanted to be able to display them out on my wall instead of having them in a cabinet the whole time, just to make it a little bit better looking kind of for some of these videos as well as just holding my guns, as well as serving a few other purposes that you can kind of see behind me with the books. Every time I went to look on them on like hold up displays or something like that, while I would love to have something like that, sometimes the funds just ain't in the budget. So I went on the excursion of trying to find the cheapest way to do it possible. So in this video, I'm going to show you how I went about doing that, where I went to get everything, as well as I will have links to everything down in the description for anybody that wants to get some of the same things that I used for this. So I ended up finding online the slat wall panels at Menards. So I went to my local Menards and picked up two of these 2 foot by 4 foot slat wall panels that were already pre-finished, and the inside where you can see the wood grain is paintable. So I'm taping off the black portion that is already kind of finished. That way I can spray paint that wood grain, OD green, to where it'll kind of blend in a little bit more. So each of these cost me $18.99 a piece, and so that puts me at $38 so far for the total of this project. So I ended up getting done taping everything up, and as you can see closest to where I'm standing right now in the video, I actually ended up running out of blue painter's tape, so I had to resort to Scotch tape, which was a little bit thinner, but it ended up getting the job done. So right here I'm just spray painting that OD green color on the sides, the bottoms, and then those little middle sections between the actual panels that I wanted. And I don't think that it shows in the video. However, I ended up actually having this can that I'm using right now crap out on me. So I ended up having to go back to Home Depot for like a third or fourth time in that day to be able to get a couple more cans of that OD green spray paint. Okay, so this was after I'd gotten back from Home Depot. I had a new, couple of cans. And so this right here, I'm just finishing up spray painting. I'm probably just going to end up go ahead and skipping to the point that I'm done, because even within the video, it took a little minute. I wanted to make sure that I got all the spaces, all the nooks and crannies and everything. That way there wasn't any kind of wood grain showing. But I will go ahead and skip this to the end for y'all's sake. I forgot to mention this in the previous portion, but those spray paint cans, I only ended up using one, and it cost me, I believe, $5.98. So puts me at about 43, 44 bucks for the total of this. But right here, as you can see, I'm just trying to get that board up. It's a 1x6 because I didn't want to try to put up the slat wall panels and try to guess where the studs were in the wall. So I'm essentially going ahead and figuring out where the studs are right here. That way I can just screw the slat wall panels into these boards. This is just the first one out of 4 of them that I'm going to end up putting up here, which you'll see later on in the video. But right here I'm just getting it level and making sure everything's good to go. That way the ones that I end up putting up afterwards, and then the slat wall panel itself, is going to end up being level on the wall. So off camera, I went ahead and put another 1x4 in the wall. That way I could screw the bottom of that bottom panel to that board. And as you can see, I had to enlist the help of a friend because I was not going to be able to put that slat wall panel up, hold it, and screw it in all at the same time while trying to make sure that it stayed level. So that's what he was there to do, just to be my essentially my lab rat. And so he was holding it up as I was making sure that it was leveled and screwed into that back board. And then once that first panel is level, that second panel you can just sit on and it'll also stay level since that first panel is level. And as I'm screwing in these boards, I'm just, as you can see, screwing in 3 screws to the top board, and then 3 screws to the bottom board. That's plenty of holding power for what I need out of it. So I didn't really feel like any other amount of screws was necessary. So right here we're just basically adding two more boards to be able to screw that top panel into. Just following the same procedures that we did for those bottom two boards that we screwed the bottom panel into. Nothing really different. Just making sure we're finding those studs. That way we can be able to have the holding power that we need to on there. And this was the point that I was very grateful to have a tall friend, because I was not going to be able to do that. And you'll see here in just a minute that I actually ended up having to get something to stand on because I got tired of holding it like that. It was very annoying. Just a quick tip right here for as you're putting that second panel on there. I figured out that the screws, uh, as you're screwing them in, they tend to not want to go in all the way. So just make sure you're paying attention to that. We ended up having to back out the screws and then basically like drive them a lot harder into that board to be able to get them to actually sink in, and the board, that slat wall panel, be able to sit flush up against the board that we screwed it into. But once we did that, it was perfectly fine. So I didn't want those screws to be as visible as they are right now on the video, so I ended up taking a little bit of that OD green spray paint and spraying it into that little white container that I have right there. And as you can see, it's doing a really good job of covering those screws up and making them not so pronounced. That way they just blend in with the background of the slat wall panels. Right here, I'm just taking that LED strip and sticking it all the way around the slat wall panel on the back side of the panel. And the total length of the strip was 16.4 feet, which worked out absolutely perfect because the perimeter of the slat wall panel altogether was 16 feet. So it was literally the perfect size for what I needed it to be. And the LED strip ended up being like 10 or 15 bucks on Amazon, and then the brackets and the shelves that you're going to see here in just a minute also came from Amazon. So right here I'm just testing out, the different colors and everything that come with the LED strip. And so far my favorite two colors are first purple, just because that's my favorite color, but the second is red, just because it kind of pops a little bit, and it lets that black slat wall panel just come out of the wall a little bit more. So to end off this video, I just want to go through some of the features of the gun wall and kind of what I'm thinking about doing in the future with it. So first off, as you can see, I've got these LED lights that go around it. That for y'all doesn't have to be, a mandatory thing. With everything right here, the way that it sits, I've got just a little over $100. Those LED lights they were, I think, 10 or 15 bucks, I believe. Those are the thing that pushed it over that $100 mark. But you don't necessarily have to go with that unless you just absolutely want to. And then as far as these brackets that you see up there that are holding the guns, I've got plenty more of those. Those came in like a 30 pack or something like that. 25 pack actually, I think is what it is. And then these shelves right here are just a 3-pack that I got. But as far as the books and the way that they're sitting, I think I'm going to keep those exactly the way they are. The only thing that I may do with them is turn them to where the spine of them is pointing towards you, and that way I can just fit more books on it. But the way that I've got it set up, kind of with the stagger V like that, I really like the way that that turned out. I plan on maybe not, I don't know yet, taking my shotgun down off of there, but I'll probably honestly just keep it up there. It's not taking up too much space. But my AR-15 right there, I'm definitely keeping up there. And then those two brackets that you see up top, that is where my AR-10 goes. I've got it downstairs on my workbench, getting ready to work on some videos with that. And so that will be going up there. So that's going to take up that top spot. But I may try to also tweak some stuff around to see if maybe I could get my bow up there. But I think my bow might just be a little bit too big to be able to fit up there with everything else. And then the last thing that I've got is I'm debating whether, because this wall is kind of blank if you look at it, like that gun wall is all it's got on it. So I'm thinking about taking each of my guitars and putting one on each side to kind of have a little bit more decoration around that gun wall, to be able to give something else to kind of look at instead of just, you know, having the gun wall on there. If you think that's a good idea, let me know down in the comments, and I will definitely take that into consideration. But moving on from there, if you have made it to this point in the video, thank you so much. It really helps me out quite a lot, get my videos out there to more people that want to watch them. And if there's anything that y'all want to see that y'all have seen here, y'all want to see more of or something like that, let me know down in the comment box below. And like I said at the beginning of the video, I will have links to everything that I used in the description box below. But that's all I got for you in this video. Until next time, I love you. God loves you. Y'all have a very blessed rest of y'all's day.